in my position as an executive coach and advisor to other advisors, we use Cloverleaf a lot with our private wealth advisors. So I'm helping those advisors to run their teams and do a better job with their clients and basically grow their practices. Cloverleaf is a really great dashboard that gives our clients a very low-cost way of experiencing other assessment tools, some of which we've never offered before and don't really intend to have standalone, but it's all in one place. It's easy to do. It takes very little time, and it can show them their own individual dashboard of information, and it can show their team very easily. And so that aggregated way of seeing a picture of how we're the same or different and making it fast and convenient makes it easy for them to use. And so instead of them experiencing an assessment and then it like sits on a shelf or inside of your computer somewhere as a report and no one talks about it or uses it, maybe they can't even find it, Cloverleaf as a dashboard is easy to find, it's easy to navigate, and it's very helpful. And then if they're going to be talking with one of their team members about something like in a supervisor capacity or team building capacity, they can compare themselves to each other and be reminded quickly and easily in a summary way of what should I keep in mind when I'm talking to Joe or Mary. Whereas with the old assessment, I'd have to pull out the report, go through it, think about that, put that together myself. Now, if I'm coaching them through it, that's different. But if they're doing it on their own, that's laborious. Cloverleaf makes that really easy. Something that's been kind of a weakness in our practice is our own marketing, and because Cloverleaf pushes out, right, this daily or weekly or whatever the frequency somebody wants, this little tip, which is helpful and valuable to them. It's about them, like people love to read about themselves and about their team member, and it's branded with Atlantic Leadership Group. So in that way, clients love it, right? It's a really valuable thing for them, and it keeps our name in front of them, so that accomplishes my other goal. You need to put the information back in front of somebody in a digestible manner, right? So Cloverleaf is short, over and over and over and over and over again, at least 6 times to get 60% retention is kind of what the magic number is, to have it kind of sink in and have the subconscious be willing to absorb it and remember it. And so they're not going to go pull out their assessment report off the shelf and reread it 6 times or 10 times during the year. They're not going to do that. But they'll take the time to, 15 seconds to read an email in that one-liner. And so that's a great way for them to really internalize a lot of the concepts and remember the strengths and areas of weakness, et cetera, communication styles of their team members. So we have a small team. My wife is also my business partner. So I get tips about her. We have 2 daughters. Our oldest one is in our business. And so I've got the 3 of us now, right, are in my feed. And I find it interesting that even though I've known these people, right, our daughters for their whole life and my wife now since 1994, you think you know them pretty well. And still, there's an aspect or an attribute of them that either I discover that I really wasn't tuned into, or maybe that it was a blind spot. I wasn't really seeing it. And so that's really cool. The second is for myself personally. There are some of the tips that come to me in that email that I go, that's an important thing for me to remember. That's really helpful because it gives it in small pieces that people really need to be reminded of, and myself included.